Greetings. So we're coming back to it. There wasn't really kind of good connection of what's going on. So previously on the last episode, we watched Simon start getting into the cylinder head of the B44. He usually does these little tidbits of where he's talking and is far more interesting than I am. But in that, I'm saying that he's going back into the cylinder head. We've got it on the bench, and we're going to continue this process. Thanks for tuning in.
So, reheat the cylinder head. A day has gone past. The new valve guides are in. It's very hot. I don't want to turn this over. I did clean. Oh, that's warm. I did clean the inside of the head, decoked it both on the exhaust and the inlet side. So it's nice and clean and decarburized. So that's good. And the guides went in really well. The exhaust guide went in really easily, which hopefully isn't a problem. The inlet goes more of a typical fight, but the exhaust guide went in just nicely wound it in with a firm wind, so hopefully that doesn't move around. I don't think the engine gets as hot as I've got this, so hopefully it isn't a problem. But a valve guide moving the cylinder head is a unique sound, so if it does happen I should be able to hear it. So that's that. I'm just going to let this cool down. I'll try and give it a clean up. I do have a new stud for here, and I've ordered new studs for the rocker side. I will take the cloth out when it cools down a little bit and just let it sit on the faceplate. But my valve guide insertion tool is coming useful. And yesterday, I don't really talk about this, but when I drove out the guides, this was a bit here. The diameter was a bit too big, so I ground it down a little piece, and it was great. So just a little bit too big, the standard. So ground it down a little bit and it was fine. Anyway, gonna wait for this to cool down, then we'll see whether the valves need honing. I've got the valve hone from when I did the B25, and then we'll lap the valves in using my favourite lapping tool that only works when it's warm. So we're looking at the head. I've got a valve, city inlet valve. I've just lapped in the exhaust valve, and you'll notice I'm doing it the way I said I wouldn't do it on the B25, which is to put a drill on the back of the stairman on a slow speed, put it backwards and forwards. It actually works really well. So that's what I'm doing. I haven't got anywhere to put the camera to be able to film that for you, but I'll set it up, and then once the drill's on, I'll restart. So the drill's on the end of the valve stem there. If I pull it out, let's just see if I can do this one-handed. Very slow speed. Switch it the other way. And if you watch from the other side, that's all there is to it, until you get a decent grey, dull grey ring all the way around. So you should be able to see there's two nice dull rings around each of the valve seats. The inlet didn't need as much lapping as the exhaust. The exhaust needed a couple of goes. This only just took one go. And like I did in the video, very gentle tap, backwards and forwards, just touch off, with the drill on the back of the thing. Works so much better than the old lapping tool I used to use. Think of me telling you before that you shouldn't do that, and of course now I've just done it and hey, it works really well. So I guess the thing is, don't go too fast with the drill, just and it should be good. Next thing to do is check the valve spring lengths. I've got the valve springs somewhere. Oh, they're in one of these. Check them and then put it back together, and the head's done. I need to put some form of holder in place to keep the barrel on for when I lift this into the into the frame of the B25. Got to get the old one out, but this is about it. This is the stage I want to get to. So once my event is over next weekend, engine swap time, which I'm kind of really excited about. So here we go. Valves are lapped. I checked the springs. The springs are the right length, so I've put those back in. They're ready for the rocker box to go in. You can see I've cleaned the face up of this by rubbing it on the surface plate. I've just pinched down the head, basically because so I can like lift it using the inlet or the exhaust port. I can still fit. I've just picked it up, so I can pick the thing up. It's pretty heavy compared to the 250 engine and gearbox. I've yet to lock this off. Let's not forget that. And that's about it. This is going to sit here for 2 weeks, and then when I've had my international guest, the international guest being the owner of the 690, the engine will come out of this, put it somewhere safe, this guy will go in, and then we'll slowly put it back together in full 40 mode, which I'm rather excited about actually. I know I'm going to have to probably tweak the exhaust because the cylinder head sits much higher. That is allegedly a 440 exhaust, so we'll see. I've got a feeling the bracket's going to be wrong, and I may end up having to cut a piece in here just to lift it up, because I think the exhaust port roughly is about there. So unless it's a lot higher, but then if you look at the back, there's not much clearance here. So to this point, all this is about right. I just think I need to add a section in there, so that may be what happens. That's it for now. Yeah, not much going on. That will be it for now. Yo kids, here we are. I've done some more stuff without telling you again because I forgot to turn the camera on. So here we see B25 engine. Yep, B25 engine is out, which means, wait for the camera, Ian. There we go. B44 engine is in. Yeah, so I did this, what was it, Wednesday? Wednesday, did it Wednesday. Had taken the day off. My buddy Ian very, very, very selfishly picked a very late flight, so I took a day off for nothing of my very, very, very precious free vacation, unlimited vacation time. So I thought, well, I might as well do the engine swap, and it was a pretty easy thing to do. The hardest thing really was draining the oil, which again I didn't really do that much of. Pulling the B25 out was easy. Putting the B44 engine in was equally easy. I haven't put the primary drive on it. I need to button up the outside cover, which needs the wire going into this rubber doofer and then going into the points there. Oh, not points, the trigger for the ignition. I put 2 quarts of oil in it just in case, fitted a new filter because it's a new engine, and we'll slowly put it back together once we've finished rebuilding and cleaning out the KTM. We took a bit of a trail ride yesterday on these beasts, and discovered some things with fit that we're putting right on the KTM. Dropped the suspension a bit and making the panels fit. Very short. Yep, and now I can flat foot it as well, so that's good. Absolutely. The exhaust runs very high on this. Switching, I'm all over the place, switching around. So this is much higher. There's about 1 inch difference in where the hole is in the bracket, and I may just do a sort of a fancy banana shaped little 2-chamber exhaust here before it comes out. I've got a dB killer coming for the silencer because it's too bloody loud with the 250. I will just try it. But I think with this being higher and it running through, I may have to put a section in here, the exhaust, so it runs low again and then comes out through here. Yeah, that's about it really. Next thing is to put this cover on. Like I said, I've got to put the wire in for the ignition trigger, and then it's round to the primary side, put all that together, and then we're in position to get it to run. I want to put the rocker cover on, of course. I've got new studs coming from BSA Singles. Need to put the nuts on here. The head needs torquing down. I have got, thanks very much to my buddy in there, a new to me 5/16 Whitworth wrench that I'm going to grind and flatten and then use to make a socket so I can torque the head down, weld a socket to it and straighten it out and whatever. So that'll be good. I could probably do that today as well. That's about it. That's about it for this little clipette. Thank you.